Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center here to congratulate you on your 2023 JAYFLIGHT 324 BDS travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a few things taken into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for this awning. On your off campsite, besides your slide, I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power cord is going to plug in right above your tires, water just behind that. So park accordingly so you can utilize facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. Unit comes with a power tongue jack. Night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply retract to lower, extend to raise. Now should you lose power, under this rubber stopper right here, tell you another thing about this rubber stopper, it gets black stuff all over your hands, so use this sparingly. Your hand crank for your stabilizing jacks will get on that and get this up and down should you lose power. Speaking of power, check your battery posts every now and then, make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. These new stabilizing jacks, the way they work, put your hand crank on there, turn it to the right, just enough to get this open. You can pull on this ring, and that'll loosen this up and drop this real quick. Drop it right down, get as close as you can there, and then run it the rest of the way down. Now I'm also going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads will protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, and hot blacktop in the summer. Good investment. Pick some of them up, put them down underneath these, run these down just until they're taut. Remember, our unit's already level, we just want to stabilize it. So run all 4 of them down, get our unit level and stable, we can hook up our power and water. 50 amp cord, we plug in here. Once you got that on, turn it to the right, and then lock it on. At the end of that 50 amp, you'll have a dog bone, it'll bring you from 50 down to 30. And then a adapter as well to go from 30 down to 110, 30 to 15 in case you need to plug into a 110. That's your power hooked up. Hook up your water. First and foremost, a water pressure regulator. These water pressure regulators are going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting lines in your unit. Always use this because you don't know the water pressure at different campsites. Hook that up to city water connection. Hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Look up here and make sure your hot water heater, if this is closed, once that's down, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now if that hose has been on for a few minutes, go inside and open up your slide. The reason I want you to open up your slide is I want you to get inside and open up all of your water taps. Get a nice steady flow of water going through all of your lines. Get all the air out of the lines and shut them off, and then you're all set to camp at a campsite. Now let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water, we're going to go dry camping. In that case, over here on your campsite is your freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here, simply use a hose. You can gravity fill that with a hose. 2 ways to tell it's full. 1, there's an overflow valve right there, or 2 on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on that when you're filling it. Don't leave this unattended. Once it's full, put your cap back on. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump inside. Don't turn on your water pump and hook the city water, that's already pressurized. Alright, we're all set to camp with power and water. Let me walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit real quick. Continuing here on the campsite, got a couple of outdoor speakers, a vent for your hood range. This is a clip for TV mount, 110 cable for that TV. Again, your fresh water. Low point drains, regular low point drains as well as fresh water. Again, our stabilizing jacks, you got your pass-through storage with your hitch work in there, as well as your J port. I'll tell you about that when we get down to your outdoor cooking. Again, check your battery post every now and then. Your propane is on a regulator. Lefty loosey to open these. Your propane, your battery again. Other side of your pass-through storage. We'll run your slide out here shortly. You have an extra gray tank down here. There's your handle to dump that. There's where we'll dump our black and gray tanks. Again, our hot water heater. Black tank flush. We'll talk about that when dumping our black tanks. Power. Outdoor shower. City water connect. Flue for your furnace. Couple things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running your furnace, they're clear, it does get hot. Again, where we dump our tanks. Our extra gray tank to dump. Those are you plug in your cable at the campsite. Spare tire cover, keep that on there, it keeps it from dry rotting. You've got a prep for a backup camera up there. It's a vent for the back of your fridge area here. Got a quick connect LP here in the corner. Outdoor fridge and kitchen. Separate entryway bathroom. Keep everyone from walking through your unit, just use the bathroom. Well, covers everything here. Let's take a look on the inside. Alright, so coming up inside your unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of emergency. Right around the corner as we come in, quite a few items. A little info station here. Here's where you can see the level of your battery, the levels of your fresh, black, and gray tanks. That fresh button is the one I said to hold down when you're filling up your freshwater button or your freshwater tank. Keep an eye on that there. This is where you turn on that water pump when using that fresh water. Here's where you open your awning. On your awning, you only want to run that out until you can see that brown bar and your flap has fallen down to 90 degrees. If you continue to hold that down, running it out, it will start to flip back onto itself and start running itself up backwards. So keep an eye on them when you run them out and make sure you don't run them out further than you need to. We also have that awning light out there. Oop, wrong one. There's the awning light. As I continue to run that back in. Down here is our slide control. Utilize that when closing it back up. Again, our lights. 110. A couple charging ports. And as our awning comes in, I will show you that slam locks work best when gently slammed. One more thing as you come in the doorway is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. It's always running off your battery, so keep that in mind when you are out dry camping. You might want to use your battery disconnect if you're going to be gone for the day. Keep that from running your battery down. Continuing to our kitchen, big double sink. Thing on your plumbing, it's almost all PEX now. There's access to your water lines. This is one square bit bolt or nut will pull that out. One square bit will pull that screw out, and here's where your winterize at. Starting on the bottom over here, breaker box and fuses, 25s and 15s. Highly recommend having some of them with you when you go camping. You got our oven and stove top. So this glass top makes an excellent backsplash. Turn on your panel light here. Turn this to light. Hit your flame. You gotta push it in at the same time. So let me see if I can do that with one hand. There we go. So same thing all the way around. As well as your oven. So on your oven, turn this to the light. Hit your spark. Look under there. Make sure that lit it. Once that's lit, just go ahead and turn that to your desired temperature. Rock that panel light down for an oven light. Up above that, you do have a light and a fan, self-explanatory microwave, your Furrion electric fridge. All the controls I think are down in here for that. Yeah, just right there. Storage. Access panel to the back of your shower. We'll get into the bathroom in a minute and stay here in the living room. Let's go ahead and crank the air up in here real quick. Turn that to cool. Got it at 55. On your AC, you also have a quick dump. Go ahead and dump that down here in the living room. Blasting some cold air here. I'll shut that AC off. Just cycle through to off. There's off, cool, and furnace, so it's not too difficult. It normally shuts off pretty quick. While I'm waiting on that, here's your slide control for your bedroom slide. Alright, there goes your AC. Now I'm going to turn on your furnace. Get the crank at 90. That's on. Now generally when I shut the furnace off, it takes a few minutes to cycle through before it actually shuts off. You'll hear that run. Your tabletop. Lift up off them legs, remove them legs. Put your tabletop on this little button here all the way around. Put your back cushions on top, that'll give you another sleeping quarters. Charging ports here. You've got your couch. That can also jackknife down with storage under. Jackknife down into a bed. Put the front, put back forward. I'll sit back down. Sitting over here, you're all prepped for a TV. Your backer's here. There's your cable for it. If you get a TV in here, there's a little green button here, or a little button with a green light. When you plug your cable in here, make sure that light's on. That's your antenna. That's your digital channel enhancer. That'll allow you to pick up more channels. Got your sound system here. There's a remote for this as well. So, FM, I don't know if we'll pick up anything in this. There we go.
This is NPR News.
AM, FM,
Washington.
Bluetooth, auxiliary.
The round of 6.
Indoors and outdoors. Or neither.
Today, the
or
U.S.
both.
advanced to the...
Continue into our bedroom. Backer for a TV, your cable and stuff here. This is a template. In case you ever decide to get this wired for solar, that's a template for it. Leave that on there. This is your emergency escape window. Simply snatch that, pull that screen right up out of there. Almost all your lighting throughout the coach is one-touch individual lighting. Both of our bedroom doors, you want to make sure that these are snapped open for travel. Otherwise they're going to bounce around on you. You don't want that. So snap both of those open. And we got a little bit of storage up underneath here as well. Quite a bit of storage actually. Again, all of our lighting in here is one touch. Office, I'm coming through and head on back to the bathroom. Couple things to mention in here. 110 with GFCI reset. More plumbing to maintain. Like I said, it's mostly PEX nowadays. Keep an eye on it. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose as you're going down the road. Skylight. You do have a hand crank, hand open exhaust vent here. Here's where we'll turn on our hot water heater. Shut that off now. Just set it and turn it to the desired temperature you want. Make sure that you keep this locked at night or any other time. Back here in the bunk area, biggest thing to remember is to make sure you fold these back in like they are for closing up our bunk. This will raise up and lock up here to give you more headroom for your gaming chairs. Set up for a TV here, cable and 110 there. Charging ports and 110s up on the bunk. I recommend for travel that you travel with this down. I would trust these supports down here with bouncing than I would this little piece of metal. Again, almost all the lighting back in here is one touch, which is cool because you can dim it all down to like one light. Give, say, the kids a night light at night. Another door to have snapped open. Alright, that about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Last but most importantly, this is where your fire or smoke alarm is going to be. Gonna make sure that is closed for bringing in our slide. At this point, I say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede our slides from coming in. We have nothing in the room of our bedroom slide back here. Come back here and bring this one in. Again, make sure this whole floor is perfectly clear. Nothing's in your way. Once you hear that noise, you may hear it going out, coming in. That's just the slide mechanism saying, hey, I'm all the way in. You're gonna let go of the button. So come to my main control panel here and shut these lights off. Then I can see any other individual accent lighting that needs to be shut off that I can't shut off from here. Then I can turn this back on. Then we're gonna bring in our living room slide. Again, we've made sure all doors and drawers are closed through here. Bringing all this in. Same noise. Shut off our light and exit the unit. Alright, a couple things on these steps real quick. One is how you adjust them. Just pull out on that cotter pin, lift these up and down. And make sure your exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise this piece will catch on it when it comes in. Before you leave the dump station, lock and deadbolt this, lift and turn this handle. Alright, if we are out dry camping, we're going to bring up our stabilizing jacks. We're going to dump our freshwater drain. That's this white one right here. Open that up. Once that's done, we're going to hook up our hitch to either head on home or to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we are at a campsite, we'll unhook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. Now remember, you got a couple dumps on this. You got one right behind your tires, the other one's all the way at the corner. There's several 10-foot hoses. We're going to hook up here first, and then we're going to pull that black handle. That's going to be your sewage. When that's done draining, go inside, look to see if it's empty or showing close to empty. If it is, go ahead and leave that handle open. Grab the hose at the dump station. Come up here to this tank flush. Hook it up here. Again, emphasizing leaving that black handle open. Turn that hose on and let it run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, close that. Make sure all that washout you just put in there has drained. Then close your black. Come up here and pull this gray. Now, while it's draining, you're going to get some stagnant water out of your hot water heater. Go ahead and lift up on this pressure release valve. I'll get some water out of there. When that's done, push that back down. Go over to our other side. Usually where my grays are draining, I like to go ahead and dump my low point drains. They're right next to where your fresh water is draining. There's our regular low point drains right there. When that tank is done, go ahead and close that gray handle. Remove that hose. Remember, that's cleaner waters, sinks and showers. Come on back here, hook up here, and pull this gray handle. When that one's done, go ahead and remove that hose. Store it in a convenient and sanitary place, like your bumper, which normally open a lot easier than this. There we go. Once that gray handle is done, go ahead and close that up, remove this hose, and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this JAYFLIGHT for many years to come. Happy camping!